Burnley Together is a partnership that formed as a result of the COVID crisis. We came together as the hub. We had 48 hours to get operational, and the services that we provide are whatever services the community needs.
As soon as the pandemic was coming to England, we knew that our most hard to reach and vulnerable communities would need support. And it's been a combination of a variety of public and private sector partners getting together to do the right things to support everybody that needs help.
From delivering groceries and medication to just being that voice at the end of the phone. It's all those people who are going above and beyond during this period to really support each other.
It's been absolutely wonderful. It's got a lot of people together, not just council people, but Burnley Football Club and the residents of the town and other companies, all working together to make sure that Burnley survives this virus, and they're doing a tremendous job.
A huge thank you to everybody involved in Burnley Together. You are the very best of us. In these difficult, challenging times where people have been anxious, people have been frustrated, Burnley Together as an initiative has lifted everyone's spirit, morale, and given us such a positive outcome.
We started our community meals project and then within a couple of weeks of providing sort of 100, 200, 300 meals a week, Burnley Together realised that we were quite a vital service, so they came to us and said, you know, how can we help? How can we help support you, support the rest of the community? So they got in touch with us, and then from there on they've supported us all the way through, and they've really been vital to us being able to provide even more meals, you know, up to sort of 1,500 a week now.
Previous to COVID, the pandemic and the lockdown, we were an ordinary food bank where people would be referred in and then they would come in, sit down, have a cup of tea and something to eat with us, and we would talk them through their crisis, signpost them to the right organisations to help them, and then they would shop for their food parcel. But obviously since the lockdown we're unable to do that. We've had to shut our doors from a safety point of view. So the fantastic thing about Burnley Together was that those people still had somewhere to go. So they had that phone call that Burnley Together will then signpost that person to the correct organisation, do the referral into the food bank, and then we're working with partners such as Calico, Burnley Leisure and Probation Services, plus the council have been delivering the food parcels for us. So we have not had to stop the food bank service at all.
My role within that was to sort of lead from a policing perspective. That means looking at what resources we could supply if we were called upon, and sort of picking up work around vulnerable people and vulnerable people situated within the communities. We look to offer support around resourcing if we were called upon. So if the hub come together and there were a shortage of people to sort of go out within the communities and work with the volunteers and the volunteer coordinators, then the offer was there to do that.
Our service got suspended immediately due to restrictions on what we're working with. So when Burnley Together started, I started doing some work with them over the phones, working on the phone lines, getting involved with the donations from the food bank. I went into this new role working with the homeless, based at Gateway in Burnley, covering Burnley, Pendle and Rosendale. And from there I've linked in with Burnley Together to use their service to provide food parcels for some of our customers, and also to, which is developed recently, to furnish them with furniture that they needed to set up homes and sustain tenancies as well.
BVS is an infrastructure organisation, and by that what we mean is that our role is to help others to do it for themselves. So we help people to volunteer, we help people, voluntary sector organisations, to provide whatever activities that they do. We're responsible for all the volunteers who come through to Burnley Together. So everyone who's expressed interest in volunteering, we have supported them to apply for the role, make sure that they know what they're doing, make sure they've got some basic training, that they've got DBS checks if that's what they needed because of some of the roles that they're doing, and make sure they feel happy in the role that they're doing. so that we could match those with requests for help that came through from the hub.
So one of the things that we did was pull together all the work that Gosia Mosque was doing, so that we were working together, supporting one another and ensuring that no families went without, but also at the same time making sure that there was no duplication and sharing resources, sharing food parcels and just talking to one another so we can provide for everyone. As part of Lancashire Resilience Forum, there's a faith group that was set up to ensure that faith communities were prepared and were responding to whatever might come our way. The response of the faith communities throughout this has been second to none, I think, right across the board, whether that's with helping with food banks, helping with supporting communities, delivering, volunteering, whatever it might be.
When I got a phone call from Leanne to say, we're starting working in partnership with Burnley Borough Council, we're doing Burnley Together. She'd told me a little bit about it and said, how do you fancy coming on board? I went, yeah. So we had a week's training in the office and then we've been working from home ever since, and this is my working environment. Best way to describe it is a one-stop shop, and it's been set up with lots of different partners in the Burnley area to pull together all the support that anybody might need.
Last week we were picking up a fridge off a barge that somebody had donated, you know, in the pouring rain, but it went straight out to somebody else who needed that, who was really desperate, not a lot of money, just set up a tenancy from being street homeless, and it made a massive difference to their lives, so it was worth just seeing the look on their face.
And Burnley Together has been a real help in making sure that when people come to me and they need that extra bit of support, and sometimes it is just that voice at the end of the phone or someone to help get them their shopping, then I've got a group of people I can turn to and say, can you go and help this person? And I think that's been a huge reassurance to people across the borough that when they do need help, there's a group of people there who are willing and ready to provide it.
We made and delivered 10,000 meals on that particular day. I think we're up to something like 16 or 17,000. This week we'll be on 17,000. But yeah, it was a fantastic day because you know, without the partnership of Burnley Together and other organisations we're working with, and without our volunteers and staff team, we just could not have provided that. And I think it's just fantastic that people have come together to provide that for the community.
Yeah, one of my friend, he told me regarding the Burnley Together. So before I decided that, before that I will started put the food outside, and for the people who need, so I will put the food outside for free. So I will got the Burnley Together number, so I'm very happy for this one. They help all these people, because I don't know which people need these things, but the Burnley Together have all the record how to they will provide the food to those people who are much needy people.
Local mosques were actually some of the first people that actually sort of stood up and said, we're here, if you need us, then we're here to assist.
The whole of Burnley's communities unite and everybody come together. So everybody has been involved in it, whether that's, you know, your statutory organisations, your local business partners, your community organisations. Everybody has done their bit, and everybody has pulled together.
Somebody who needs food for their family, that might be massive to them, but then I might have supported somebody else to get appliances for their home or furniture, and that's also important.
We had so many people ringing up to volunteer to go and pick up prescriptions or do shopping or transport people to appointments, things like that. It was really unbelievable. I couldn't believe how many people were ringing every day. You know, it was really fantastic.
There's probably about 15 or 20, a mix of staff and volunteers working here throughout the week. So we try to keep it down to 5 or 6 a day, but as you can see, we've got lots of space, so we can socially distance from each other quite well. Burnley Together, if the community don't get on board, then Burnley Together is not going to work.
Those first few weeks just really panicked people ringing. They were scared, they didn't know where they were going to get the food from, they didn't know how they were going to get the shopping, they didn't know how they were going to get the prescriptions, and they needed reassurance. And we did that straight away.
So just being that point of contact was massive, and it continues to be massive, because anybody who has heard about Burnley Together or contacted Burnley Together knows that they can give us a call, and if we don't know the answer, we will find it out, and it just alleviates that stress and the unknown, and the fact that somebody, a human being, will answer a phone.
Certainly regarding mental health, where the police do have to intervene and get involved in people with mental health problems, we saw a reduction in that, and that was purely because Burnley came together and appropriate sort of services were given to the people that needed them the most.
People have stepped up in ways I didn't expect them to, and knowing the risks that were involved with COVID, just the willingness of people to help. No questions asked really, the community sector, but also just people generally, the amount of people that have rung up and said, I just want to do something.
The brilliant thing about working with the volunteers and partners, and what it showcased, was that the demand was uncertain, but the willingness and desire and the tenacity was there from both partners and volunteers, which helped make this a success.
The community drives itself, it's so focused, it's so community orientated that it sort of takes off. We're really lucky, I think, as key partners working and living within the town, that we've got the communities around us like that, because we really didn't have to do a great deal.
I've always believed in Burnley as a place, but my God, these last couple of months, there is nowhere like it, and the people that live in this town, there's nobody like them.
Because if it weren't for the community, obviously Burnley Together wouldn't have happened. So the people of Burnley have made Burnley Together happen.
Well, for us, a lot of hard work, and we've been very busy over this time, but I just feel really privileged to be able to be a part of Burnley Together, and I think moving forward it could make a huge difference to the community, because I don't think that Burnley Together is just starting to be over. I think it's just begun really, and I think if it can move forward, it will be great if it can last quite a while.
One of the things that I would hope that would come out of that is that those relationships and that partnership working that we've built up, that will continue going forward, and we continue to do that and support one another.
At a time of need, Burnley is a place where people do come together to support each other, and that's the Burnley that I know and I'm proud of as well.
I think there's been some big step forwards in partnership working. I think there's some new ways of working that are very positive.
If there is a silver lining to coronavirus, it's that sense of community that everyone has rekindled, and Burnley Together is the embodiment of that in a group of people who I know will keep going from strength to strength, helping people, supporting each other, and I really do look forward to working with them to make sure that the borough continues to thrive and continues to support each other in the long term.
The collaboration that's happening right across the third sector, the community sector, business, public sector, is there for all to see, stronger than it was before, and that'll be a key thing.
But there's still a need. There's still a lot of vulnerable people in the area who still need the support of Burnley Together going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, personally, we really want to stay in contact with Burnley Together. We want to really be part of that, and I think together with all these organisations working together, we'll, the future's looking quite bright and sunny.
We love Burnley.
We love Burnley, and
we love
Burnley give me a lot. Yeah. Burnley give me a lot, so it's my time to give to Burnley.
I'm hoping, and I really am hoping, that once the virus has gone, we can still be together and still use it and still get everybody doing what they're doing now for the people of Burnley, because I think it is a fantastic thing.
So I think from a personal level, that ability to reconnect with yourself and your communities has been, I'll take that'll last with me for a long time.
I shop in Burnley, I work in Burnley, and I spend most of my daily life in Burnley. And I think it's an absolutely great place with great people and communities which work brilliantly together, and long may it continue.
Burnley Together, as that collective group of people, we should absolutely sort of stay together in some format, but really be adaptable and flexible as to how we sort of play a part within the town.
And I think as important as Burnley Together has been in responding to the first wave of the pandemic, it's got an equally important role to play in responding to those emerging challenges. I think its future is in supporting youth unemployment and working with local businesses to resolve those problems. It's continuing to work with partners in health to look at how we manage some of those challenges, and also community wellbeing, and the place where Burnley Together is at its brightest is when it's bringing communities together to solve problems.
Privileged that I was given this opportunity to be able to make, or be a small cog in this huge wheel that's made such a massive impact on Burnley.